Is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, everybody. What's going on? It's Wednesday afternoon. By the way, earlier today, I thought it was Thursday, so I don't know what day it is. I do know the date. Today is March 1st. I know that because I've got it right here on my computer in front of me. So today's Wednesday. It is March 1st. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man, and we come to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. So for everybody that is just now populating our YouTube live chat, welcome to everybody in the YouTube chatlins. We'll get to you guys coming up, and a bit of an in familia controversy coming up here in a matter of moment. Yeah, I mean it's not like deep, heavy controversy. It's just that everybody in the YouTube chat who was there yesterday.
Oh, God.
And Browner finally showed up because I texted him and said it would be nice to see you.
I was
and
already there.
Busted me. No way. Everybody busted me. Christian Hogan busted me. He's like, Scott goes and freaking texts Browner, and then Browner shows up. Now, Browner says he was already there, but do we really believe that he's lurking in the chat and not commenting? I don't think anybody can shut you down, dog.
Bro, listen, I'm going to tell you right now. Just because I'm not saying that, don't mean I ain't around. The show is on. I'm doing multiple things. The show is on. I'm just not sitting here typing in the chat. I just sat through the show once. So y'all want me to sit through the show twice a day?
Yeah.
Wow.
No commitment. Okay. No commitment.
I mean,
okay.
I do.
So, Alex, not the whole time. Dude, you're there for 2 minutes and then you're out. What are you talking about?
Oh, I wasn't there yesterday at all.
No, I'm talking about Scott.
Oh, I'm there all the time.
Right.
When I check in, it's like a solid 15 to 30 minutes.
Dude, right. I will be doing ESPN LA and still in the YouTube chat. And everybody knows I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. And then all the chatlins wind up leaving us when we're done. And they all come over to the YouTube chat that's happening over on the radio station side of things, the ESPN side of things.
They got a YouTube chat too now?
Well, yeah, they've learned. They've learned from what we do.
Oh, you mean so they stole what we did?
Some might call it stolen, and I would say that they were not doing as much as we were doing and said, hey, we should do that too. Okay. Pretty smart.
Okay.
Anyway, lot to get to today. Lot to get to. Here goes. I'm going to tell you what we want to talk about today. First of all, obviously, we'll start with spring training. Tatis plays. Browner, that should calm you down a little bit. Okay. Everybody's still talking about the Musgrove toe situation. We'll get there as well.
I got my detective work on with the Musgrove situation.
Okay. I look forward to that. Okay.
Sources.
You got sources now. All right, good. The NFL scouting combine, want to get there?
I might be dropping Shams Charania type tweets soon. You know,
oh my God,
major ass.
I love that. I want to talk about San Diego State's basketball team that fell apart late last night at Boise State. We'll get there.
Do we have to?
Well, I know it's probably going to hurt you to have to recount it, but
and then
also,
yeah.
I was watching two games last night. I was watching San Diego State, Boise State, and I was watching the Lakers and the Memphis Grizzlies. So I was going back and forth watching these two basketball games last night. And, well, I'll talk more about it.
You need more TVs in front of you.
I don't mind the going back and forth kind of thing. It doesn't.
Put
one on your iPad or your phone.
No, but bro, I have a big old TV on wheels that usually sits over here. And I took it out and I put it in another room. That's what I should do. I should bring that back in here. Okay. Anyway, so going to get to the Padres, going to get to the Aztecs, going to get to the Lakers, going to get to spring training, going to get to the scouting combine. We got a lot of stuff to get to today from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Alex, you say you have some sources. Would you like to start off there?
Well, I don't know how significant it is to the overall story of the Joe Musgrove situation, but Joe Musgrove was in attendance at Manny Machado's extension press conference yesterday, and a lot of people noticed that Joe Musgrove was in the back of the room standing the entire time during this press conference, not sitting. So because I am a member of the media that goes to press conferences, I recognized faces in the press conference, and I might have reached out to some sources to see if Joe Musgrove was wearing any sort of protective measure on the foot, on the toe. Was he
Mm-hmm.
wearing flip-flops? Was he wearing toe shoes? Was he wearing Nikes? Was he barefoot? Was he wearing steel toe boots to
How
protect the
about
toe?
how about a big old boot,
Right.
or maybe was you saw him on both legs, maybe he was on one of those like things that they have now. They're like crutches, but they're like wheels, and the person puts their knee
Oh, the knee
on the
scooter.
thing.
Yeah.
Knee scooter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the knee scooter. So I asked, and multiple sources confirmed that there was a protective device around the foot, but not a boot,
Mm-hmm.
a contraption of sorts
Mm-hmm.
to protect the toe. So there you
The
go.
broken toe, huh? The broken toe.
Standing, walking, but will not pitch for at least 2 weeks.
See that to me is I wonder what they do for a major league pitcher who one day is having 4 wisdom teeth removed and the next day still probably with all the drugs and anesthesia and everything, like maybe not even completely out of your body, not that I know any of that. He's pitching a bullpen session.
Mhm.
Now, the toe, my understanding is it's his left toe, right?
Correct.
It's his left toe, right? That didn't sound very smart. It's his left toe, to which Alex says, correct.
Left. Oh, everybody got it.
Left toe,
Left toe.
correct. Okay. So it's not his, foot that is going to be inside, the rubber. It's his left foot, which is what he's going to come down with and plant. And what do you do for a pitcher over these next couple of weeks?
Nothing.
Because you put him in the weight room. I don't know. You do flexibility work. You strength training. I don't know what you do with a guy like this. Can't pitch for 2 weeks because of a broken toe. Bet it hurts too.
I'm sure there are exercises and things that they can do to keep his arm in the rotation for this time of the year. Guys get hurt all the time, tearing knees, spraining ankles, and you got to keep your upper body. If he can walk, then he can definitely do some upper body drills, probably some leg work. So I don't think this is a big deal.
I
I
think
think
I have a
people
more
are really
important
making a
question.
more of an idea out of this than it really is.
I think I have a more important question about instead of what can Joe Musgrove do. Baseball is a very unique sport where every year players get injured doing stupid stuff.
Oh yeah,
We've heard of players get injured playing video games. We've heard of players get
sneezing.
injured sneezing,
Falling off
clipping their
motorcycles.
toenails. That's crashing motorcycles in Dominican Republic, like your Dominic Toretto. So all I'm saying, I want to ask a question is, where does this rank amongst those injuries?
Well, it's funny you say that because no one is saying, really? You dropped a weight on your toe in the weight room? Like, we love Joe Musgrove so much around here, and he's such a homeboy, and he's, big money guy, and he's so real San Diego. He's so southeast San Diego, I mean, way out East County.
Alpine.
If 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 we didn't love this guy the way we do, a lot of us would be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Doesn't
don't know
Joe,
about that.
doesn't Joe Musgrove like, there's certain dudes that like lift barefoot, there's certain like bodybuilders or like guys that
What?
that lift. Yeah, you never seen dudes do like deadlifts barefoot.
But the gym floor is gross. Unless you own your own gym,
That's a
yeah, you can
that's a
work out
that's
naked if you want. But
that's a very separate discussion. All I'm saying is that there's people that like lift barefoot. I don't think there's any sort of protective shoe that would have saved Musgrove's toe. I'm assuming he's lifting at least a 30, 40-pound kettlebell that dropped directly on that left toe. But doesn't he kind of give off the I lift barefoot vibe?
Well, even if he
no,
did lift barefoot, he's wearing a pair of regular, shoes, sneakers.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't protecting him from breaking his toe. If the story is that he really dropped a kettlebell, and by the way, again, you think about these stories and how here you find out, you go, hey, this guy got hurt. And they say, how'd he get hurt? And, well, he was working out in his room and he was doing this. And then you find out it's like a whole lie, With Musgrove, I never even question it. I just love the guy. So I'm like, oh man, hurt his toe lifting. Well, of course he was lifting. He's committed. He's doing everything he can to be ready for the season. And then, he breaks his toe and everybody's like, oh, no big deal. He's back in 4 or 5 weeks. It's nothing. He's fine. And I just say, to me, Joe Musgrove was the guy that I knew I could count on every single time his number was called last
Mhm.
year. And now he's hurt in what I'm going to call a freak spring training accident. Thankfully, it's not like a Gavin Lux situation where he's gone for an entire year. But all I'm saying yesterday was, I don't know how a broken toe affects you 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 months from now. Is this a lingering thing, or does this thing just heal no problem and he goes back to 100%, everything's fine? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the
But
way
I'm worried about it.
that's the way they described it, basically, himself and Bob Melvin. It's more of a pain tolerance thing, as if it doesn't heal the way it's supposed to heal. But at least 2 weeks no pitching, and then after that you'll see. So I don't know. I have no clue.
Again,
But social media assured us on all of our platforms, this is no big deal. He'll be just fine. So rest assured.
dropping a kettlebell is not some like rare thing. Like they're supposed to be lifted up and put down. Like so, it's all in the realm of possibility that he lifted it up on the last set and just kind of went down harder than he wanted to.
Yeah.
Bam, right on the toe.
So this isn't, I'm.
This isn't Sammy Sosa sneezing and throwing his back out.
Do you want to run through some MLB injuries in the past that I looked up for you guys? Because I came prepared with my question.
I would love that, because I'll tell you right now, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like a bad weight room injury. Have you ever seen anybody get hurt
on
weight room?
TikTok?
Yes.
Bones snap and ankles crack and people get choked out by bars all the time. Yeah.
Dude, one time.
In person, I saw a guy tear his Achilles. It was terrifying.
How'd that happen?
Did it roll up his calf?
Just messing around. Like literally
in a weight room gym or like a gymnasium?
In our practice gym. It was a teammate of mine. Just messing around, jumping side to side, and then went to like jump with his arm up, pow. Terrible.
Wow. Thanks. When I was in high school, we had this kid, and we were doing weight training, and we had these dumbbells, and we're doing this like side to side thing, like where you're working your shoulders, right? And so this kid comes up like this, and as he comes down, dude, he slams his nuts between these two dumbbells, right? Can you imagine? Like you're like a 17, 18-year-old kid, like you're lifting, you're groaning, and all of a sudden you come down and boom, you get your manhood just caught between those two dumbbells. Oh man.
No thanks.
Oh dude.
No,
it was
no
thanks. I wish I could remember this guy's name.
Talk about a ball buster.
That's him. That's right. All right, Alex, let's hear some of these questionable baseball injuries.
Shout out to Bleacher Report for making this very easy for me. They did this like 2 weeks ago. Dumbest MLB injuries. John Smoltz landed on the injured list because he attempted to iron a shirt while wearing it, severely burning his chest.
That's pretty dumb. That's
pretty funny.
Imagine what happened. You got to iron like a legit Iron Man, dude.
Hey, dude, what's up? You got 3rd-degree burns going, bro. What happened? Oh, I was ironing my shirt while wearing it because it's too lazy to take it off. John Smoltz.
Glenn Allen Hill. I believe he played for the Cubs, Browner.
He was an outfielder, I think.
He had severe arachnophobia, and he had a violent nightmare where he popped out of bed, fell through a glass table, and tumbled down the stairs, all while asleep. According to Glenn Allen Hill, he suffered cuts all over his legs and arms on the 15-day DL.
Dude, the other night, true story. I'm having a sleepover, an adult sleepover, right? And I'm having this weird dream. I don't know what the deal was. There was this old guy, and he was like cleaning off this table, and I was talking to him, and he was like kind of had his back to me. And I'm like, what, you're not going to shake my hand? And he put out, instead of his right hand to shake my hand, he put out his left hand, and he put it out kind of like this, like with his hand up, not extended, put his finger. So I took his hand, like in this dream, and I smashed his hand like this. Right? I swear to God, true story. I wake up, Rachel's going, ow, ow, ow. What are you doing? I had her hand just like in the dream, and I was crushing her hand in my sleep.
That's great.
Jesus.
Let's see. This is a good one. This, I don't know. I wonder if 45, this ever happened at 45. Marty Cordova accidentally fell asleep in a tanning bed, severely burning himself. Cordova was not allowed to play in day games for several weeks after this.
Oh my God.
Ouch.
Yeah. Adam Ian, former San Diego Padre.
Yeah.
While attempting to open a DVD wrapping, stabbed himself in the stomach.
Oh. Oh my God.
I've never heard this one before, but this is a good one. Steve Sparks finished listening to a motivational speech and was so motivated by it that he attempted to rip a phone book in half, thus dislocating his shoulder in the process.
There used to be these shows on TV. I don't remember what they were called, but they were like religious, like Christian kinds of shows, right? And they would have these big bodybuilder type dudes, like they were preaching, and they're like, the power of the Lord, blah blah blah, and they would rip phone books in half on this Saturday morning, or maybe it was a Sunday morning Christian religious kind of a show. And these guys are so strong. We've got the power of Jesus, man, and they just rip these phone books in half. And that's probably what that guy saw.
Yeah. I remember those exactly what you're talking about. I remember these big old buff guys just like doing like, rah, Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you say that you remember because Browner's looking at us like, what are you
I
talking
ever
about?
heard of
I
this.
very
Never heard
much
this.
remember like these big old dudes on stage preaching like whatever and just like doing some crazy stuff like for all in the name of God. Moises Alou, fresh off a 38 home run, 124 RBI season in 1998, fell off a treadmill, tearing his ACL in February. Missed most of the 1999 season, but when he was ready to come back, this is where the funny thing happened. He ran over his son with a bicycle and he re-aggravated the knee, missing the rest of the season. Let's see. There's so many. The Sammy Sosa one is in here.
Which one was his? Was he the sneeze and
he
he pulled a
sneezed.
rib?
Yeah, he sneezed.
What about the Jeff Kent one from many years back, where Jeff Kent said that he was like washing his truck or something at spring training, and like, and he turns out he actually really did get into a motorcycle accident, but he had some cockamamie story about what he was really doing or what he was.
That one did not make the list.
I thought he was watching a boat.
Yeah, I know, something like that.
Greg Harris was flicking sunflower seeds at home and strained his elbow in the process.
Nice. Blink.
Yeah.
Blink.
Yep. Let's see.
I'm trying to remember who it was. There was a Padre player who was like hurt and was expected back like any day, and then he got hurt again. And when the Padres put out the statement, they were like, "Well, he was in his hotel room and he was doing some balancing, work, on a Bosu ball or something, and he fell off of it and hurt himself again." I don't remember who it was. Somebody in the YouTube chat will remind me, or somebody will hit me up on Twitter. But does anybody remember that story?
I don't.
Yeah.
But this is my favorite one.
I may have made it up.
I think this is a great way to finish this. There's many, many, many examples of MLB players getting injured. This is my favorite by far. Clarence Blethen was a career minor leaguer, only made 2 brief stints, but he did play 18 years of professional baseball.
Wow.
Blethen was a pitcher. He had dentures. Whenever he was on the mound, he would place his fake teeth in his back pocket in hopes that his appearance would intimidate hitters. But he was batting as well, I guess, in the minor leagues. So Blethen forgot to put his teeth back into his mouth while he was on base. He stole second. His fake teeth, he slid on his ass, bit his ass with his own fake teeth. The teeth felt like drove into his ass. That's the best.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, look, I mean, I know that again, Joe Musgrove is such a lovable character. He's such a hometown kid. He's such a performer in clutch situations. He's been so utterly reliable that for a guy like Joe Musgrove to get hurt in spring training in a weightlifting accident, no one ever says, "Come on, what's the real story here?"
Right.
We just in Joe we trust. We love this kid.
Yeah, I'm not doubting the way the injury happened, but it's just one of those freak things,
Yeah, and again, I know that there's a lot of people out there saying it's no big deal, but I do wonder. When you tell me it's a pain tolerance thing, what that tells me is that this is going to linger for a long time, and assuming you can handle the pain, no big deal. But if for some reason you're pitching and it hurts, and then it hurts again, and it keeps getting hurt worse, the pain can take away from the focus. So, listen, I'm concerned about him because I love him. I love him as a player, and I love him as a Padre.
It's just something would have been cool about. I know Browner says Darvish is the opening day starter. Maybe, probably, who knows? But it's something about this year and the excitement going into the season. Having Joe Musgrove be the opening day starter would have just been just like a cool, just a crazy, crazy day.
Yeah.
There's there's more of a connection to Joe than there is Darvish, and Darvish might be better, but there's something about Joe. I mean, he did pitch the home opener last year, which was just as exciting, but being the excitement going into this season, having Joe Musgrove on the mound would have been dope.
Well, I think the other part of it is everybody remembers a couple of the clutch performances he had last year in the postseason. I mean, I think more about the game against the Mets.
Oh, yeah.
You know, where he just was lights out. And so, and he's the face of the franchise. Manny may be the leader, and he may be the guy with the most money, and Tatis may be the most exciting, and Bogarts may be the new guy, and Soto, everybody's waiting for him to just explode. But Musgrove's the face because he's the local guy.
Yeah.
You know, and people in San Diego, we know this. We love this kind of stuff. All right, stick around. We're just getting going. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. You want to play blackjack, poker, table games? Come on in. You want to go to Sammy's Restaurant and Bar, which is Sammy's Woodfire Pizza? We got that for you too. Great brunch on Saturday and Sunday. What a place. 7 minutes south of downtown San Diego. Smoke-free, 7 Mile Casino. All right, we're going to keep on going with spring training. We got a bunch of football stuff, Aztec basketball. Stick around. This is Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
I would like to say welcome to the River Road African American Museum. What we do here at the River Road African American Museum is connect the past to the present.
Our museum was founded in 1994 by my sister Kathy Hamburg and our family to actually talk about the history along the river here in South Louisiana. We've been around for about 29 years here in the Donaldsonville and Ascension Parish area, and has become one of the premier museums for the state of Louisiana when it comes to African American history.
When you think about Black history, what we want you to understand is that this is more than Black history. This is Louisiana history.
Sponsored by The Barnes Firm. Proud to support Black History Month. Car crash? Call 1-800-8-MILLION for a free consultation.
When someone you know has COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, things can progress very quickly, making them feel hopeless. But it doesn't have to be like this.
See, Mom, this place is going to be great for you. They're going to help you breathe better.
Pulmonary rehabilitation at La Mesa Rehab focuses on patient education and training. We use special therapies to improve your lungs, clear out mucus, and keep you out of the hospital. Pulmonary rehab is Medicare approved. Call now to see if you qualify or ask your doctor about La Mesa Rehab today.
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray-Lampert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylampert.com for your consultation.
The #1 disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize the oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content, and of course check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
Listen to The Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and themightier1090.com. We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew Show on the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Hey, everybody, it's Scott Kaplan from Kaplan and Crew. And with me right now is Rick Slider. He's the CEO of MedCline, which, by the way, is a pillow that is going to change your life. You have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm telling you right now. Rick, how you doing, man? Where do we find you today?
Scott, great to talk to you. I'm in sunny San Diego, a place you're pretty familiar with.
Yeah, I'm glad it's sunny out. I see the Padres stuff right over your head. That looks pretty cool. And some Beastie Boys. You got some cool stuff behind you.
We had a different sports team up on the wall for a while that had to be taken down, say half dozen years ago. But the Padres still flies prominently on the wall.
I love it, man. Hey, if you could, while we have this time together, can you tell everybody the backstory of MedCline and how you guys have become such a big San Diego company selling all over the world, and what the deal is with the MedCline systems?
Sure. MedCline started here in San Diego, started by a radiologist whose primary practice was at UCSD. And he was a longtime sufferer of heartburn and acid reflux. Tried everything, tried diet changes, was taking medication, proton pump inhibitors or PPIs that a lot of people take. But he was looking for a natural way to reduce his heartburn symptoms. And he found through trial and error that when he slept in an incline and when he slept on his side, his heartburn and acid reflux symptoms would dissipate. Because he's a doctor, he wanted to make sure that this just wasn't by chance. And so he set up some clinical studies using a system that he designed and patented. We got clinical trial results, found that there was a strong reduction in the esophageal acid that would take place during the night, reducing his symptoms. And with that, decided to create a product called MedCline and commercialized it a few years ago. And that is really how our company began, with his personal desire to stop his heartburn and reflux symptoms.
That's amazing. It really is amazing. Like when you have something wrong, you're like, I'm going to fix this problem. But you know what's amazing to me is that acid reflux is a problem that obviously a lot of people have. But for me, I have shoulder pain, chronic shoulder pain from the way I sleep, because I sleep with my arm over my head and then my pillow in between. So when I got my first MedCline, I didn't realize there's the reflux relief pillow, but there's the shoulder relief pillow. And it's completely changed everything for me. My shoulder pain has gone so far down because I'm no longer sleeping like this. I'm like underneath. And tell me about the shoulder pillow, please.
Sure. First of all, I'm so glad to hear that it's working for you. That's fantastic. Secondly, as we brought MedCline to the marketplace, we found that there were a number of individuals that benefited from therapeutic side sleeping beyond just those suffering from heartburn or GERD. And the primary use is for shoulder pain. And the reason I think people like you have been so comfortable with the MedCline is because of our patented arm pocket. When you try and sleep on your side and you have shoulder pain, you run the risk of your shoulder getting frozen, exacerbating pain that you might be feeling, whether it's due to rotator cuff, general shoulder soreness. And so our incline has a patented arm pocket that allows you to either rest comfortably on your elbow or to slide through, sounds like what you do, slide your arm through the system so you can stay at an elevation and sleep comfortably on your side throughout the night. And today, here in 2023, our shoulder product is actually our top seller. It surpassed those that suffer from heartburn and acid reflux, simply because there's more people with shoulder injuries across the country. And we're glad that we're able to help you out.
It's awesome. Hey, we don't have a lot of time, but in the last minute, would you just tell everybody how the MedCline products, though, have gone viral, particularly on TikTok. Just give us like a 30 or 60 seconds about what has happened.
You know, I'd love to say that I'm a marketing genius here, Scott, but really it's just about excited consumers sharing the benefits they get of MedCline. And it's amazing what happens when people finally can get a good night's sleep, how they're so excited to share that information. And recently, we've always been a part of social media, but recently we've kind of found a niche within TikTok. I didn't know that healthy sleep TikTok was a subgenre, but it really is. And with a few different posts, we've seen over just in the last 30 days, over 10 million people exposed to our MedCline products. So we're excited about the virality that this has created. I think it's in part because we have a 95% customer satisfaction rate. We know we can help people get a good night's sleep. It does take a while to adjust and sleep differently. But we're excited to see kind of the viral nature of our product grow, and we're excited to help out as many customers as possible.
It's awesome. I want to encourage everybody who's watching right now, go to medcline.com, medcline.com. Look at the different products. Know you're supporting a San Diego company, and I encourage everybody, sleep better with our friends from MedCline.
Drivers are getting in accidents at a rate we've never seen before, jumping 18% since 2020. There are higher incidents of speeding and more aggressive driving since the pandemic began. Please slow down and drive safely. It can save a life.
An ADU is accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
Hey, Hoop fans, it's Victor Howell here, host of the NCAA Tournament Special, Breaking Down the Madness. Each week during the tournament, we'll assemble a panel of regional experts that follow your local team all the way to the Final Four. Highlights, predictions, interviews, and much, much more as we break down the madness right here on Your View.
Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and find your big fitness energy in a clean and spacious judgment-free zone. Deal in soon. See Home Club for details.
The number one disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content. And of course, check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
At the Barnes firm, we're seeing more pedestrian and bicycle accidents. Drivers are rolling through red lights, and distracted driving makes every intersection a danger zone for pedestrians. Look both ways when crossing, even if you have the right of way.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Hey, great friends, what's happening? It's Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Be safe out there today, okay? Browner, you'll be happy to know that I've been watching the news because you keep telling me how smart you are because you watch the news. So I want to be as smart as you. I was watching the news. The weather today, I mean, listen, I don't know about how it was for you guys last night, but the wind was howling and the rain was coming down and it's cold and gray and windy and gross. And I hope things clear out by tomorrow. I think that's what's supposed to happen. But I mean, all throughout the county, all throughout the region, the mega market, the weather is just horrible out there. So be careful, everybody, you know?
Shout out to the best man at my wedding who's moving today during all this. What a awful day to do it.
Where's he moving from and to?
Poway to Escondido.
All right.
Yeah.
It's not that bad in terms of distance, but moving sucks. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
Moving when it just so happens to be raining and you're like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
And now your crap is getting wet.
Yep.
You know?
It's bad when the movers push back their start time because it's terrible weather outside.
Yeah.
The movers are like, we're not going to be responsible for your stuff getting destroyed. So we're going to wait it out. Yeah. Good. So good luck. Shout out to him and his wife, man.
Shout out is right.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's do this. Let's start off today, at least this segment. By the way, this segment of Kaplan and Crew being brought to us by iThrive MD, where my man Grande here has already lost 40 pounds in 5 months. And Grande, tell everybody the story you were telling before we got on the air today.
This morning, Mar was really hungry and she wanted to get like some breakfast, some takeout breakfast. So she got something and I got a breakfast burrito. I haven't ordered a breakfast burrito in a really long time. And I used to crush this place that here in North Park. I used to crush their breakfast burritos, no problem. I felt disgusting. I ate half of it and I felt disgusting. I've never been so like demoralized not being able to eat a burrito. I was like, damn, I can't even eat it if I tried. Like I was man versus food won on that one. I felt gross. So I put and because I ate it, felt gross, and I was like, okay, I can take my injection now. Today's the day.
That's funny because I was meeting a buddy of mine for lunch, and he wants to meet at this place, and they have this like a Chick-fil-A version sandwich, but it's fancy and you pay a lot more than you would at Chick-fil-A. And he said to me, he goes, I'm doing a bunch of working out this morning so that I can have this sandwich for lunch. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm going to have the sandwich for lunch, and then I'm going to go work it all off. I know that feeling of disgust. And the fact that you only were able to eat half the burrito, that kind of explains to you how this iThrive Lean program changes people's lives. You want to crush it. You just can't crush it. Go to our website, kaplanandcrew.com, click on iThrive. You'll see the iThrive Lean program. You'll learn all about it. People are losing a ton of weight with this product. It's FDA approved. It's fully guaranteed. And for those of you driving around, 858-240-1497. I say it like that because Dr. Damani, he likes to hear the phone number. He's always like, dude, I want to hear the phone number when I'm listening on the radio. 858-240-1497. Start losing weight at iThrive. All right, Grande, Brown man, let's say this. Browner, you should be pretty happy today, I think. You should be a happy guy.
I'm generally happy every day, sir. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, the fact that Fernando Tatis made his spring training debut. I mean, you made such a big stink about the fact that he's ready, and they're not playing him yet. There must be something wrong here. You know, maybe he's not really ready. I think Tatis has actually shown up this year. And I think based on what he's said so far, he understands how badly he screwed everybody over last year. We didn't think that the Padres were going to win the World Series last season, but when they made it to the NLCS, we're like, oh my God, they could actually maybe win the World Series. And this was without Tatis. What might they have been had he come back and not been suspended? So he sounds like a guy that understands what he did, and he seems actually genuinely remorseful. Now, maybe he's going to make me look like a naive idiot here soon, but I tend to think that he sounds like he's done a little bit of growing up. But you made the point, Brown, that he's been saying he's ready, and the Padres have been saying not yet. And he's been then going back and saying, well, hey, they got a plan. I got to listen to it. It's what's best for everybody. So that's kind of where I'm getting that vibe. But he played yesterday. So and played well. You must be happy, Brown.
Look, man, it was good to see him out there. It was good to see him stealing base. It was good to see him being aggressive. Like, this is what you want to see. This is what they talked about needing to see him do outside of a game to see if he was ready to play. Apparently he is, because he's stealing bases, using his hands and his feet. So look, it's good to see him out there, man. Bottom line, that guy's super important, and quite frankly, still might be your best player. Maybe not your most important player, but your best player. And you need to see him start getting the wheels moving. You need to start seeing him be productive. And yesterday was the start of that, and I wish it could have been sooner, but you got to take what you can get. And I'm happy he got through the game.
Let me ask you guys this question. You know how if you're watching a Laker game, and Alex, this doesn't apply to you because we know you don't watch Laker games anymore because, they're not
trash.
they're not in the play-in yet. So long as they're not in the play-in,
he's out.
You're not watching. But you ever get this sensation when you're watching the Lakers that every single time Anthony Davis hits the deck, and it's all the damn time, you always think he's hurt, right? I mean, don't you always, like, every single time he's down on the court, you're like, oh, that could be it. He could be hurt because the action is going the other direction and he's still writhing in pain. And then finally he gets up and he realizes, I'm not really injured. That I have a boo-boo. Somebody elbowed me. I'm going to live. I better get back and maybe try and help out now. Every time Anthony Davis hits the deck, I think he's hurt. When I watched that Fernando Tatis steal yesterday, there's like a part of me just as he's sliding in, because I don't know, the bases are a little bit bigger. It can't be that much of a difference. But it almost seems like he slides kind of late, and I see his foot get just a little bit caught up on the bag, and I'm like, oh no. So, I mean, everything this kid does, I don't want to have that, oh no, he could get hurt kind of sensation.
Well, I think it's because our last experience watching Tatis play baseball was that him consistently getting hurt in 2021, shoulder popping out, so something always just random happening to him in 2021. So our minds haven't seen him be healthy in a really long time. Let's not forget the sour taste that was left in our mouth of 2021, the last time Tatis played baseball. Let's not forget what happened in Oakland when Machado yelling at him. Like, that stuff's
Right.
that's what that's the last stuff we saw of him. The Padres collapse and him getting hurt. So I don't think that you should be wrong about how you feel, but hopefully now, after having 3 surgeries to repair all those things, we don't have to worry about it as much as we continue on the season.
I know. I just watched that slide yesterday. I'm like, oh, be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful. It's spring training.
My biggest worry is not his health, it's his personality, his mentally. That's my biggest worry about this guy. I honestly think that physically, I think he's going to be fine. I think the other stuff is now, for me, the biggest worry of how he's going to respond to being in left field. What's his temperament going to be like?
How about right field?
Left field, right field, center field, wherever they put him at. Shortstop, hopefully.
DH.
Whatever. What's his temperament going to be? Where's his mind going to be? If he struggles early out of the gate, how does he respond to that? Because, again, he hadn't played in a calendar year. He hasn't played baseball in a calendar year and will be missing the first 20 games because of the things that kept him out last year during a calendar year. Mentally, what is his approach going to be coming back out of position and basically feeling like he's new to the team? Because he wasn't around, from my knowledge, for me watching the team, me going to games. He wasn't around when all this good stuff was happening.
Well, he couldn't be because he was suspended.
Correct. So
Right.
this
he was
like
around a lot because you guys kept yelling about all the stuff he was doing when he was around. You guys were getting
playing soccer in the
or
outfield.
taking batting practice or swinging off to you guys were throwing hissy fits the whole season.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Brown, you must be so happy, though, to see him back out in uniform, to see him playing ball, stealing bases.
Yeah.
Yeah. You must be happy to see. Now, can we?
I got to
is
say
there
one
any-
thing in
Yeah.
regards to his mentality. I hope, and this may be a stupid thing to hope, I hope he plays so well that he is mentally okay with being a diva again.
That's a great sign. That'll be good for the team.
No, I don't want him to be a diva, but I want him to play so well that he can afford to be one.
Oh, he will.
We have
That
to
he
put
can
up with
do.
his-
That he can do.
We have to put up with his
Yeah,
nonsense.
so that he could do interviews at his home, being, I'm ready to play shortstop. Xander sucks. Like I don't want him to. I don't want him to do those things, but I want him to be able to play so well that he is afforded the ability to do those things. If that makes any sense.
I got you. All right. So Tatis plays yesterday.
Yes.
And we're in like full spring training watch and kind of report
The dog
daily.
days of spring.
Like, what's going on? I mean, I wasn't this into the Padres spring training when I was at the Padres spring training.
Yeah.
I turned on my car the other day and I plugged in my phone, and sometimes things just kind of happen like my phone has all this old like stuff in it. And I turned on my phone and there was a show open from way back when where Billy Ray and I are interviewing Tommy Lasorda. And Lasorda is just so angry with the two of us because we're talking about how Mike Piazza was complaining at the World Baseball Classic. And Tommy is just yelling at me and Billy Ray. He's like so pissed at us. And then as we start to kind of enter into the show, I wound up getting caught up in like 5 minutes of old content. I don't even now. I lost my train of thought. Where was I? Where was I going?
You didn't like spring as much as you did when you.
Oh, my point was, hey, we're out here at spring training. David Wells is going to stop by for his daily visit. Greg Maddux is about to come by to visit with us. New Padres starting pitcher, blah, blah, blah. Marty Schottenheimer is going to join us later on. Like, I'm listening to all this old Scott and BR stuff just because it was on my phone and the phone started playing. But yeah, I wasn't this into Padres spring training when I was sitting there at Padres spring training.
Is that like are you saying like damn you, Peter Seidler, or thank you, Peter Seidler?
Well, I'm happy to not be at spring training, I can tell you that. I mean, so is that a thank you or is that a damn
No,
you?
I'm saying like damn you, Peter,
you for
that
making
now
me
I have
so
to pay attention to the Padres
right.
during spring.
I'm more interested in the Padres than I have been since I got here in 2001 because of this team.
I'll tell you what, you're more into the Padres spring training than you are the Aztecs making a March Madness run here.
Way more.
Yeah.
Way more into it. Like now, but I will say this. I did take my time last night and I was watching the Lakers and the Grizzlies and I was watching San Diego State and Boise State. And my daughter, who goes to Boise State, was actually sending me videos from inside the arena. And she's like, "Are you watching this? It's crazy what's going on here." And then when Boise State won, the student section like rushed the floor. And I was like, "What just happened? Did you guys like knock off #1 Duke?
Yeah.
What did I miss?"
So lame.
I mean, did you guys just beat somebody that's like really, really good? I mean, San Diego State's
Yeah,
good.
They did.
Yeah, but come on. They didn't just knock off Goliath.
They didn't even like clinch the Mountain West or anything. That was the lamest storming of the court I think ever. And I'm not even being bitter. That like what they rush for.
Yeah. Alex, when I sent Alex videos last night of my daughter and all of her friends rushing the floor, he's like ripping my daughter right to me.
I was like, that's pretty lame. That's actually super lame. Like, what did they win last night? They beat the 18th ranked team in the country who they always beat. Boise always beats San Diego State. And they didn't clinch a share of the Mountain West. They didn't clinch a tournament seed.
They didn't knock San Diego State
out of anything. Like
conference.
What is the point of the storming of the court here?
Because you won a close game and it's fun and I'm in college. Let's do this. Woo!
Yeah,
Where the natties at?
Pretty lame.
Where the natties at?
Where the natties at?
Are natties like natural light beers?
Yeah.
Okay. Natties.
Actually, the kids are actually drinking Borgs now. I don't
What
know
are Borgs?
Borgs are blackout rage gallons.
What's that? Oh, dude. Is that where you take like the gallon of milk or water and you put like vodka or whatever in there?
Basically
and then you
make
like,
a gallon
with
of
you?
alcohol and you walk around with it.
My daughter, like they're so lame. Like they do this. Like they're college kids. I get it. I mean, we did stupid stuff in college too. Did you guys ever do a beer bong?
I don't think there's anything stupid about that.
Oh, you like that? Huh? That's okay.
I was actually
always
really good at
found
those. I did a
there's
two-story
two-
one once.
Yeah, you see
Two
two-story beer bongs. I mean,
Yeah,
it's so
no.
lame.
Pretty cool.
The two things I've never attached myself to.
I think Borgs are cool. I would
Okay.
I would have a Borg if I was in college.
I would never. I never smoked joints with other people, and I never did beer bongs. I'm not putting my mouth on something that somebody else puts their mouth on. I'm just not into that game. I'm not doing it.
Except women.
Never. Well, yeah, that's different.
I mean,
That's
is it
different.
different?
It's actually
I mean,
gross,
I guess.
Yeah,
isn't it? You
because
brush your
I'm
teeth.
not standing in a circle kissing women after someone else is kissing them. You're standing in a circle passing joints. You're standing in a circle passing the bong around. Like that's disgusting.
Can I do another?
You're
Since
basically
we're here,
kissing the dude,
since we're here talking about drinking in
slobbering on
college,
each other's mouth.
how disgusting were
Gross.
we playing beer pong with the beer in the cup that we were going to drink? Gen Z nailed that one. They play with water and the beer's on the side. That's a lot more sanitary than the way we used to do it. You used to like
I
get a
never done that either.
disgusting ping pong ball that was on the ground of a frat floor. You dip it in water. You're like, yeah, no bacteria here. Shoot, make it, drink. Like
One more time. What does a
And you
Borg
ne-
stand for?
You never got sick doing that either, by the way.
no.
Yeah. What does a Borg
There was
stand
a
for?
syphilis outbreak when I was in San Diego State. Blackout rage gallon.
Blackout rage gallon. freaking unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really, there was a syphilis outbreak when you were at San Diego State because of ping pong balls on dirty fraternity floors?
No, it was basically like my second week at San Diego State in 2006. I didn't know anybody at a frat. I didn't, because it was my second week at San Diego State.
Mhm.
We got a campus-wide email saying avoid fraternity row. There's a syphilis outbreak. I'm like, where did I sign up to go to school?
Mhm. Party School
1800.
USA,
School,
baby.
San Diego State. That was at the time
Yeah.
when, Playboy magazine was still
Right.
putting San Diego State like top 5, top 3 party school.
That was literally when anybody could get into San Diego State. Now it's hard.
Yeah.
Real hard.
Yeah.
Dude,
Looks
at
good
one
now.
point, San Diego State was like had the most STDs too. I remember that being a thing. On the
I don't
internet.
remember. I don't know.
I don't
for
remember
sure.
that, but
I don't even.
I remember that. I remember
You
that.
do? Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
Borgs.
All right.
So,
Cool.
anyways, Tatis.
Borgs. So yeah, so we were on Tatis and we were on spring training, and then I got off on a tangent about I haven't been this into spring training when I was even at spring training, and then you said, well, you're more into spring training than you are into the Aztecs run, and then I said, yes, Boise State, my daughter, blah 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 blah, and now we're back. We're back to where we started. We're back to where we started.
Can't believe
Now-
you guys are sharing beer bongs. It's gross.
Yeah, I mean,
So
we,
gross.
but I also shared joints. Also,
I'd
mean,
share a beer
never
bong
th-
with you, Browner.
Browner,
Well,
Browner,
no
you talk
one's
about
sharing no
sharing.
beer bong with me.
But Browner, you talk about sharing things like that, right? Like it'd be one thing if you and your friends are all standing around and everybody's like puffing on something. I've been to plenty of places, concerts and what have you, where I don't know the person next to me. They're like, "Yo, you want some?" Or like,
Yeah,
or
that's
like,
where I drew the line. I
Yeah.
remember when the Killers came to the observatory, me and Mar
Mhm.
went, and some strangers were passing around a joint, and it got to Mar. I was like, hell no. Don't do that. First of all, you don't know what's in that joint. And secondly,
Yeah.
I don't know who's touched that. No.
that's I know like for me, if somebody were like, "Yo, man, can I get a hit of that?" I'd be like, "Yo, here, have another one. Here, this is for you.
Yeah.
You know, let me be Santa Claus this one time."
Yeah. It's 2023, you know?
1-2 for me to
They're
you,
legal
pal.
now.
Right. Right. Anybody can buy this stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So did the Padres also make a move earlier today? Was
Earlier
there
today.
they signed a guy who I don't really know much as a player. I only know him as a fighter.
Who?
Who
This
did
guy?
Yeah. Take a look what's going on here.
The
Right,
most famous punch in all of baseball, maybe?
I mean,
Besides
maybe.
Nolan Ryan, Robin Ventura, this is probably second.
I mean, it was a perfect punch, landed just flush. But the guy who was on the receiving end, he took it no problem and was ready to keep coming back for more. Who is this player?
Rognid Odor has been signed to a minor league contract. Played last year with the Orioles, the year before that with the Yankees, and the 7 years before that with the Rangers, as you can see right there. Only 20.
Who did he punch?
Joey
who was playing-
Batista.
Yeah, it was
In the
playing
height
for
of
the
Joey
Bats.
Batista. In the height of Joey Bats when he was hitting like 40, 50 home runs.
Yeah, he took one right square to the jaw.
Odor
So what's
wanted
this
all
guy's
that
name?
smoke.
Odor?
Yeah.
Like odor?
Yes. So
Odor.
if you just Google odor, like smelly stuff comes up. So you got to
Mhm.
put Rognid Odor.
What's his name?
Rognid Odor.
Rognid?
Rougned.
Oh,
Rognid.
Rogue. I've never heard of that name. You'll have to excuse me.
Rognid Odor.
Rognid.
Yes, sir.
Rognid Odor. And the Padres signed him for what reason? They need somebody to kick some ass?
Xander Bogaerts is gone to the World Baseball Classic.
Oh.
Hassan Kim is off to the World Baseball Classic. Manny Machado's out to the World Baseball Classic. They just need some bodies in spring training. But here's something that I found. When you look up his numbers, you're like, ugh. He had 207 last year, a career batting average of 231. But here's something really interesting. He's a year younger than Xander Bogaerts, and he's got 20 more career home runs than Xander Bogaerts.
Wow.
Guy's got some pop.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he sticks around. I don't know if they really need him, but I'll tell you
it's
right
minor
now,
league
he's a nice guy to have on the bench. Should a fight break out and you need somebody to get out there and kick some freaking ass.
These are the kind of guys that I'm talking about, these vets that are ring chasing that. The Padres are now on the radar of these guys.
Yep.
The Matt Carpenter, the Nelson Cruz, the Rogan. I don't know if they're going to make the team, but these are the guys, these guys are the guys that you're plucking now. The Michael Wakas, the Seth Lugos, these kind of guys that, those guys are going to play. But these are the kinds of names, these big baseball names that you're going to attract now.
I like how you call them ring chasers. That's cool. That is cool. Like if you're chasing a ring, come play for this team because they got a legit chance.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. All right. Hey, listen, still to come. Want to get into some football stuff. There is some football stuff that is making news. I want to get there. We'll get there. We started just so much talking about San Diego State last night at Boise State. And I'm starting to, Alex, you said, I'm more into spring training than I am into the Aztecs run to the NCAA tournament, but I am starting to now get it back on my radar because now it's March 1st. And so we know that, we know what kind of time of year it is. So I want to talk a little bit about San Diego State basketball and what happened last night. And since I was watching both games, San Diego State versus Boise State and the Lakers against the Memphis Grizzlies, I might as well jump into a little bit of that because I know Browner's going to have a lot to say there as well. So everybody hang right where you are. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studios. The website is 7milecasino.com. You're looking for a great brunch this Sunday? How about come on down to 7 Mile Casino? I'm telling you, Sammy's Restaurant and Bar puts out an incredible spread for a brunch on Sunday. You're going to love it. Plus, you're going to play all kinds of games, and you're going to be a big winner. 7 minutes south of downtown San Diego. That's 7 Mile Casino. Everybody stick around. We'll get to the Aztecs hoops team next.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Murray Lampert now brings architectural and interior design to a whole new level for your remodel, ADU, or whole house build.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly.
Visit murraylampert.com.
This is a huge wall. I'm sure it presented some challenges.
You're right, Sarah. And what it was in the model we noticed there it was too much wood. This was supposed to be clad. And with the beautiful stairs and railings, we realized that we need to come up with a different finish. So we used these reglets that are metal with the drywall, and it gave it this grid look that also matches up with the beams.
Wow, that came out beautiful. If you want to see how they conquered more design challenges, check out Our Family, Your Home.
I was injured in a car crash. I had no idea how much my case was worth. I called the Barnes firm.
When a truck hit my son, I had so many questions about his case. I called the Barnes firm. It was the best call I could have made.
Your case is often worth more than insurance offers. Call the Barnes firm to find out what your case could be worth. We will help you get the best result possible.
The Barnes firm. Injury attorneys. Call 1-800-8-million.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
For many consumers, sleeping at night should be an easy experience. For many, it's not. There are a number of reasons for that, most notably those that suffer from acid reflux or heartburn. There are also many individuals dealing with various pains or ailments. MedCline is a sleep solution company with our goal to allow people to have a healthy and peaceful night's sleep. And we do that with our therapeutic side sleeping systems. Our patented, clinically studied MedCline relief systems are designed to place an adult in an elevated side sleeping position, which can help them reduce the symptoms or issues they're dealing with. MedCline systems are registered with the FDA, and as a medical product, MedCline systems are qualified for use with FSA and HSA funds. For anyone looking for more information, you can visit medcline.com/sleepbetter.
Hey everybody, this is Scott Kaplan from Kaplan and Crew Tonight here on Cox Your View. Just want to tell everybody that Cox TV home base throughout Southern California. But you can get us on radio on 1090. You can get us on our YouTube channel, all the different audio podcast platforms. And I want to say thank you very much to a San Diego-based company that's selling all over the world. That's MedCline, MEDCLINE, medcline.com. They're going to change the way you sleep. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.